reach the height of a spear, and until noon. However, it is best to pray Al-Adha at the earliest time to enable the people to slaughter their sacrifices, and it is recommended to delay Al-Fitr to enable the people to give their sadaqah. So to make sure they do sadaqah. The Messenger of Allah on the day of Eid Al-Fitr and Adha used to go out to the Masala, and the first thing he would begin with was the prayer. So, the prayer, according to which school, is there are no ruku'as and there's no sujood in the prayer. It's very similar to a janazah in that respect, in that you'll say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and you just stand behind them, you're standing. There are no supererogatory prayers, sunnah, muakkada, or nafil to be offered either before or after the Eid prayer. As Ibn Abbas reported that the Prophet ﷺ used to come out on the day of Eid and pray 2 rakahs with nothing before or after them. This is the case if the prayer is offered in an open area. If, however, the people pray the Eid prayer in the mosque, they should pray 2 rakahs for tahiyyat or masjid. There you are. So, what are you understanding here? If it's a masala outside, there's no 2 rakahs for tahiyyat masjid. If you're going to pray in a masjid and you get there early, you would pray 2 rakahs, just like you would any other time you go to the masjid, and then you pray the 2 rakahs, actual prayer. Now, I want to tell you that there is a bid'ah that goes on in some places. They do have the khutbah first. It's not according to the sunnah. The prayer is supposed to be first and then the sermon. A lot of places now, they have an English sermon, then they have the prayer, then they have an Arabic sermon. A lot of different things. But in the time of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the first thing was the prayer. People needed to get there. And then there was a khutbah. The khutbah was not obligatory, particularly for Eid al-Adha. Why? So people can leave and go slaughter. There is no adhan and no iqamah for this. Takbir on the day of Eid. This is one of the greatest sunnahs of this day. Al-Darakuni and others reported that when Ibn Umar came out on Eid Al-Fitr and Eid Al-Adha, he would strive hard in making takbir until he reached the prayer place. Then he would continue making takbir until the Imam came. In Surah 2, verse 185, he wants that you must complete the same number of days and that you must magnify Allah. And that's saying, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd. Now, I can tell you right now, just be prepared, because people will go into some other chants. I'll leave it up to you however you decide to do that. I just say Allahu Akbar to myself when they do that. Allah knows best. I haven't been able to find enough dalil on the other chants. What I like to do is what the rightly guided predecessors did, which is what I taught you. The scholars argue about dhikr separately or in unison. The takbir, which was done in Al-Masjid Al-Haram on the day of Eid, was where one person or a number of people would sit on the roof of Zamzam and say takbir, and the people would repeat after them in the mosque. Then Al-Sheikh Abdul Al-Azri Ibn Baz denounced this way and said that it was an innovation. What the Sheikh meant was that it was a partial innovation when done in this particular manner. So here it is. You can see it here. That's it right there. If you want to take a picture of that, you can look at your phones while you're doing it. Just in case you don't know it, that is the Eid Takbir that is most acceptable. No scholar will argue with this. Now this is one that I don't think you can see from where you're sitting, that you'll hear At a lot of masjids, it'll be a tongue twister for those of you who don't know Arabic, and even for those of us who do know Arabic, sometimes it's a tongue twister. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar and kabira, walhamdulillahi kathira, wa subhanallahi bukratan wa azila, la ilaha illallah wahda, sadaqa wadda, wa nasara abda, wa a'azahu jundahu, wa azamu azaba wahda, la ilaha illallah, muklasina lahu dina, walau kariya al-kafirin. Now some people do that, all right, just so you know. And in California they used to do this, and they would give one to every person. The other one is authentic. And this is just another one that people do. It's just a slight different. I'm not even going to go over that. People making this is something that I'd like to share with you from the authentic Sunnah. Congratulating one another is an etiquette of Eid. People may exchange congratulations and good greetings on Eid, no matter what form the words take. For example, they may say to one another, Taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum. And you might want to take a picture of that. May Allah accept it from us and from you. Jabir ibn Nufayr said at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, when people met one another on the day of Eid, they would say, Taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum. And this is reported by Ibn Jabir. Today, people say Ramadan Mubarak, or Eid Mubarak, sorry. Eid Mubarak and Eid Kareem. I have never been able to find an authentic hadith that this is acceptable. So, as my students, I'd like to get you to take a picture of this, take a little note card, and if you have to, walk up to people and say, Taqabbalallahu minna. Would you like to stand up and do it, please, so that everybody can hear you?
Taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum.
Okay. May Allah accept it. If you can't do it in Arabic, just say, may Allah accept it from us. And from. As a matter of fact, every year I do this, and people say to me, mashallah, somebody got it right. The people that know will say to me, somebody got it right. Do it right. Let's revive the Sunnah. Let's do it the way that the Prophet did it, inshallah. Particularly when we have the deals and evidence. You know, let's don't get away from, from these beautiful things.
But isn't it Eid Mubarak in your own language?
Eid Mubarak is Arabic. Eid Mubarak is, but that's not what was in the Sunnah. I'm not saying it's haram to do it. I didn't say it's haram to do it. It's just not what the rightly guided predecessors do. If you want to revive Sunnahs, if you want to get extra blessings, you get blessings for doing it the way they did. Right there? Okay. And while people are taking those pictures, the other thing that they would do is that they would always change their route. So if they came by I-4, they'd go back by 408. Now, obviously, you can't all do that because you don't need to. But you can change your route just a little bit, just to honor the hadith. Just to say, my beloved. And they say that he did that so he could speak to more people. Allahu Alam. But he did that so he would be able to greet more people. Say, may Allah accept it from you and from us. But if you're doing it for the sake of, I want to revive that sunnah. My beloved Prophet that I love more than I love myself did it. And I want to do better. That's the intention.
Yeah, but in those days there was a reason for doing it. They used to walk or take a camel or whatever. They wanted to meet different so they can meet the different people. But when you come on a Highway 4, how are you going to go back without taking a Highway 4?
Well, I think I said that. I think I said that some of you can't do that, right?
Yeah.
So, I see Muslims every Eid. I have never gone to an Eid prayer that I couldn't say Salam Alaikum. Now, I couldn't do Taqabbalallahu Minna wa Minkum in the car next door because they wouldn't hear me on I-4. But I can certainly greet them. It's about your intention. I made it very clear why they did it before. But if you want to do something because the Prophet did it, you will be blessed.
There's always more than one way to get to
No, but you're not going to meet people when you're doing the holiday.
Right, but then
The
you
reason was meeting and greeting.
I explained that, brother. We don't need to argue about anything. We don't want to be in the spirit of argument. This is Ramadan. But you may drop by Dunkin' Donuts, and you may see a believer that you would have seen if you had come the other way. It's up to you. I'm not putting any law on you. It's grace. It's mercy. It's a day of celebration. But if you want to do something that was a sunnah, you may get a reward. You may find that Allah put somebody in your place that wouldn't have been put in your place otherwise. You may stop at a different gas station. Allahu Akbar.
I have a question. With the changing of the routes, like, you know, when we pray our prayers, we get blessings for putting our heads down in different places. Wouldn't that be the same spirit for changing the routes? Is that we're getting blessings for coming this way and we're getting blessings for going that way?
Perhaps. Allahu Alam. I've never heard this in terms of any asbab or anything about these hadiths. I know that it was because the Prophet greeted more people. But anytime we do something because the Prophet did it, then we are going to be rewarded for that. If our intention is to do it because we love the Prophet and he did something, we'll be rewarded for it. Ibn Alan al-Shafi said, the name of Shawwal was taken from the Arabic word, and I do not know how to pronounce that. I think it's Sayalat al-Ibil. I tried to find this in Arabic and I have not found it, but I think it's Sayalat al-Ibil, which means the camel lifted up or straightened up its tail. That meaning was taken due to the habit of ancient Arabs who used to hang their weapons because the haram months were about to come. Months where they were not allowed to be at war. Taken from the book Dalil al-Falihin li Shar Riyadhush Salihin. Muhammad bin Alan as-Shadiki Ash-Shafi al-Maki. After Shawwal, people are going to encounter the month of Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, and Muharram, wherein no war or battle is allowed to take place. And I think there's some significance here. I think if you think about how you have just entered all these months of struggling, which we're going to hopefully address again if we have time. Now you have entered a time that in the holiest of cities there can be no war for 4 months. Your heart has been prepared. Try to think about that in your own private life. No war for 4 months. No war with your children, no war with your wife. Women, no war with your husband. I don't want you to be left out. There is other saying which mention that the use of the word Shawwal was due to the superstition of the Arabs who believed that this month was bad for their luck and they forbid a marriage during it. They dubbed it with Shawwal because the women refused to be married in this month, just as the she-camel refused her male counterpart by lifting up its tail. This is just some other history in order that you may hear this and you'll know it. Abu Ayyub, may Allah be pleased with him, reported that the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever fasts in the month of Ramadan, then followed by 6 days fasting in the month of Shawwal, it is a 1-year fast. So in other words, it's like getting another year. Now how many days is Eid?
3.
It's 3 days. Okay? So on the 4th day of Shawwal, it's mostly recommended, if you'd like, you can fast 6 more days in the month of Shawwal and you get another year for 6 days investments of fasting. Yes?
Just a question. Is there any month that there shouldn't be any weddings or celebration, or that's just...
There is no month that there should not be any weddings or celebration. Unless you're in Iddah. but that's not about months, it's about an event that's happened. Okay, what I would like to share with you perhaps to me is the most vital part of where I want to go today. The other potluck on Friday night, I talked about the mercy of Allah, not despairing the mercy of Allah. And I'd like to pick up today with a little bit of that,
Do you want this on camera?
if I can. It doesn't matter either way. You can take it off, that's fine, whatever.